An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He's going to air one out. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
The scoreboard tells the story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
This is taken at the 18. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10.
Okay, ready?
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Another run here with Sanders. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. That's just 32 yards officially from the right hash. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So everything else has gone right in this first half. Kind of follows it a whip for their kicker, too, as he adds 3 more onto the lead.
Yeah, and the way that this one's gone, definitely not looking like he's going to have to worry too much about pressure kicks late in the game. He can go out there free and easy, just work on his form, and he knocked that one through.
And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers going up top. And this one is incomplete.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well. So give some credit to the defense.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Rodgers now to throw. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
I know for us it's fun, and it's not so much fun for the rookie receivers when we see them coming into the league and we're going to training camps. You see them working on getting 2 feet down instead of 1. But the best ones train in college trying to get 2 down instead of 1, so the transition's a little bit less. In this case, though, wasn't able to complete it anyway.
And Rodgers Rodgers intercepted a third time. Darius Slay with a pick.
A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2. And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Packers set to get the football first, and they are trailing on the scoreboard as we resume action, ready for the third quarter. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. With that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Rodgers. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded at about the 28. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go.
And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football, because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
18
Looking to throw on second down. Hurts going deep here for Watkins. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there for Philly. 62 yards. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Sanders.
Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Once again with Sanders. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
They'll try to run with Sanders. And this time he is in. Miles Sanders, his third touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season.
And the Eagles just continue to roll.
Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Rodgers going to give this one to Dillon. And some room to work. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they've brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Rodgers to throw for it on fourth. Got a man, it's Tunyon. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. From the gun, it's Dillon. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Rodgers. Dancing to his... And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Fletcher Cox, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. They give to Dillon out of the gun. Oh, he's got some breathing room. 20. Touchdown, Packers. A.J. Dillon, 42 yards. And the Packers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Crosby with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive.
You just kind of feel for the defense right now. This deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. Oh, they're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
He's going to look deep for Watkins. This is caught inside the 15. A big play there for Philly. 45 yards. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Flushed out right, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
The offense on 3rd down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
There's another example that playing football isn't strictly being physical. You got to think as well. Nice job reading his keys by the linebacker and going out in the open space when they dumped it to the back. He was able to make the play and stop him short of the goal line.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. What a play there by Fletcher Cox to get in and knock him down behind the line.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now on 2nd and 13. Rodgers
throws the out route and completes it to Samuel. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Play action. It's Rodgers. He's airing it out for Williams. And this will be caught at the 30. Touchdown, Packers.
Jamison Williams.
An 80-yard touchdown. And the Packers are able to claw one back. Extra point up and good by Crosby as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going deep here for Watkins. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
It's a second down run with Sanders. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Looking here for Smith downfield. Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Up the middle they go with Sanders. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Second down, back to Sanders.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Here's Hurts to throw.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, he might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be...
And my goodness, another interception. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A give running left. It's Sanders. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
And this one incomplete. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it in the end zone, and that's one that'll haunt you. And now it brings up 3rd down. They go play action with Hurts.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Preston Smith in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
They'll try and throw for it with Hurts. A desperation heave for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Looked like it might have been intercepted, but he's out of bounds. And a good thing, too, probably. That would have cost him yardage. And now they'll get the ball back on the turnover on downs. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And now here's another interception. Darius Slay with a pick.
And the Eagles are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. They'll start out on the ground with Jones, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. Tony Brown there on the tackle.